Joe Russo, one of the Russo brothers who made a lot of the Marvel films over the past few years, completely obliterates this Hollywood elitist ideology that continues to persist, coming from celebrities in Hollywood that have this weird self-entitled narcissistic type of mentality about them where they want to demand everything from you, and in exchange they give you very little. So we're going to get into this entire idea that he is talking about here in this article. Let's go ahead and jump right into it and see what is going on here. So the Russo brothers made everyone very, very upset with this, especially when it comes to elitist people who are very obsessed with this type of idea. So co-director Joe Russo calls it an elitist notion to be able to go to a theater. It's very effing expensive. So this idea that was created that we hang on to, that the theater is a sacred space, is BS. And like I said, he made a lot of people mad in the comments about this, okay? Everyone is freaking out, especially all these snobby people who like to pretend that theater is the only way to watch a movie. You can't watch a movie any other way. And it's ridiculous, okay? Now look, I love going to the theater. I'm not going to deny that, okay? It's one of my favorite things to do. It's something that I've always loved to do ever since I was a kid, because I remember the first time my family brought me to the theater, and I was just so mind blown by the entire experience. And ever since then, I've always loved it. But I'm also willing to acknowledge that it's not for everyone. And not everyone loves going to the theater. Sometimes some people just prefer just watching stuff at home on their couch, and that's totally fine. Which is why when it comes to EpicVerse, we are going to be focusing a lot more on making a streaming site available for everyone to be able to watch what we have as content. So that doesn't mean that in the future I'm not open to the idea of showing some stuff in theaters, but for the most part, everything that we have that's available, I want to be able to show to people through our streaming site so that people can watch it at home. That is something that I'm very passionate about, and kind of using some of that new technology that we have, because I think a lot of you probably prefer that. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, like I said, he's made a lot of people very mad, but let's go ahead and take a look at what he actually has to say here, because we also have to remember that the Russo brothers, they're not our friends, okay? They are not on our side about a lot of things. So let's go ahead and get into this and see what this is all about here. He said this: where digital distribution is valuable, other than what I said earlier about how it pushed diversity, is that people can share accounts. They can get 40 stories for the cost of one story. But having some kind of culture war about whether there's value in that or not is effing bananas to us. And so, of course, the Russo brothers, they continue to prove that they are woke, okay? Yes, they made some pretty great films when it comes to Marvel, okay? They made some of my favorite films coming from Marvel, in fact. They made Winter Soldier, they made Civil War, they made Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. But outside of that, they continue to show all these different ways that they are woke. They included a lot of woke elements in some of the later films, especially Infinity War and everything else. But I completely agree with what they're saying here, okay? I do think that to continue to demand that people continue to see things in theaters is kind of a dying idea. Now, that doesn't mean that I think that theater should go completely away, because I do think that there's a lot of value in theaters as well. But, there's a lot of elite people out there, especially people from Hollywood, but also just cinema goers, movie goers in general, who have this elite idea that this is the only way that you can watch movies. And they really do. They are completely proving that Joe Russo is right about how he views this, okay? Because... And this is also a really good point. That's Cute the Rich are trying to tell us what is and isn't elitist. That is also a very good point, because Joe Russo is himself a Hollywood elitist. So it's really funny. This comment right here I thought was great as well. Final effingly, this is exactly how I feel. Sorry, but I'm not paying $15 per person to watch something in a stinky bedbug incubator where people breathe the whole time, not when I can watch it on my 65-inch TV in my living room with my snacks and people I like. So, but I just want to point this out as well, okay? I don't remember the Russo brothers complaining at all when people were going in droves to see their Avengers Infinity War movie, Avengers Endgame movie in theaters. I don't remember them complaining about that at all. They were very happy to take people's money then, weren't they? So it's funny that now suddenly when they're doing all these movies on streaming sites and everything else, how they suddenly seem to have switched switch their perspective on a lot of that stuff magically when it works out better in their favor to do so. Just wanted to point that out. So there's a little bit of hypocrisy there as well. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.